You're about to see your flaws in a completely different light after hearing this story. Somewhere in the rolling hills of the Midwest, there lived an old farmer who carried a quiet secret. People admired him, not for his harvest, but for the wisdom that seemed to grow straight from the soil itself. What no one knew was that the greatest lesson of his life came from two cracked clay pots. And what he discovered could change the way you see your own mistakes forever. Every morning, he'd walk slowly toward the well, balancing a wooden yoke across his shoulders. From each end hung a clay pot. The rhythm of his boots against the damp ground blended with the soft slosh of water inside. The cool morning air brushed his face, while the breeze made the corn leaves dance beside the path. It was a simple ritual, almost sacred. As the sun rose behind the barn, the man seemed to move in quiet harmony with the world. One of the pots was perfect, no cracks, shining in the light, proud of doing its job each day. The other, though, had a small fracture on its left side, letting water leak with every step the farmer took. While the flawless pot brimmed with pride, the cracked one carried only guilt and sorrow. It felt useless, just extra weight on the journey, unable to fulfill the purpose it was made for. As the days went by, the broken pot's sadness deepened. It watched the water drip through its crack, drop after drop, as if each one carried away a little piece of its dignity. One morning, unable to hold back its shame any longer, it spoke in a trembling voice. "Sir, I'm sorry. I'm broken, incomplete. You've carried me all this way for nothing." The farmer stopped, looked at the pot, and smiled gently. But the pot couldn't understand that smile. How could someone look at something so flawed with such kindness? If it had a heart, it would have wept. The next morning, the farmer lifted both pots again. Before setting out, he said softly, "Today, I want to show you something." The cracked pot stayed silent, confused, unsure what to expect. As they walked, sunlight filtered through the oak trees, and the sound of birds felt brighter than ever. The farmer kept a quiet smile, like someone holding on to a beautiful secret. Halfway down the path, he stopped and pointed to the side where the cracked pot hung. The pot looked down, and something inside it began to shift, as if its soul took a deeper breath. All along that side of the path, wildflowers bloomed. Sunflowers, daisies, and tiny blossoms painted the dirt road in color. The pot stayed silent, in awe. The petals swayed in the golden light of morning, and for the first time, the pot saw what it had never noticed before. It had been too busy mourning its crack to see the beauty it left behind. The farmer knelt, brushed his hand across the flowers, and smiled. "See? It was your spilled water that gave life to all of this. Without your imperfection, this road would be dry and silent." The cracked pot felt something crumble inside, but this time it wasn't sadness. It was relief, a peace it had never known. "So, all this time, I wasn't a mistake," it whispered. The farmer nodded gently. "I always knew about your crack. That's why I planted seeds along your side of the path." The pot stayed still, gazing at the flowers that had grown from its flaw. For the first time, it realized that what it once called weakness was actually the reason something beautiful existed. Even the cracks, it understood, have a purpose. "You thought your flaws made you useless," said the farmer. lifting the pot toward the sunlight. But it was those very flaws that brought color and life to this path. The pot looked at the flowers and felt a warm light rise inside. The kind that appears when someone finally understands their worth. Like that pot, many of us spend our lives hiding our cracks, never realizing that's where beauty lives. Sometimes it's what makes us imperfect that gives our journey meaning. If you look closely, you'll see how many flowers have grown from your own cracks. Every mistake, every stumble, every time you thought you failed, you were watering something greater. The people you've helped without realizing, the smiles you've sparked, the lessons you've left behind. They all came from the parts of you you once judged as broken. The truth is, no one blooms without cracks. They're what let the light in, what teach patience, what reveal the beauty of healing. Just like that cracked pot, you too have a purpose hidden in the parts you've tried to fix. Maybe what you call a flaw is exactly what the world needs. So if this story touched your heart, subscribe. Share it with someone who's feeling a little broken today. And help spread this message, because even the cracks deserve to be remembered with love.